Are these signs of the end times? What's up, church fam? I hope you're having a blessed day. I know I am. And even if you're not part of this church family, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy the video. So not only has our news cycle been covered with nothing but aliens, UFOs, UAP stuff.
Is growing. Questions are mounting about the alleged existence of UFOs, or UAPs as they're better known.
We're also getting videos of people seeing weird clouds in the sky.
Kabay ka araya tayo.
Sorry. Kaya mo tayo balik mo besok.
Even meteorites falling out of the sky. Even one falling right next to a volcano.
Fireballs lighting up the sky. Whoa! Sonic booms rattling homes.
A spectacular sight in the skies above the Philippines this week. A webcam captures a meteor falling behind the Mayan volcano.
The volcano video, that's not even the weird part. And with all these events happening, especially one right after another, a lot of Christians are asking, are these signs of the end times? But if you're not a Christian and you're not familiar with Christian theology, you might be confused as to why people think this. So we're going to look through all these videos together. But first, let's go to the Bible verse that people always run to. So this is Luke chapter 21. And he's talking to his disciples about the destruction of the temple. And he clearly gets into the end times. And they're asking him, they ask him, teacher, but when will these things be? And what sign will there be that these things are about to take place? And if you go down to verse 8, and he said, take heed that you not be deceived. And I put that in red because I feel like that's the most important thing. As before he gave them an answer on what are the signs, he says, take heed that you not be deceived. And Jesus was big on that. He was big on do not be deceived. Don't fall for this deception. So that lets us know that there is a deception coming, right? And if you go down to verse 10, he says, then he said to them, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be great earthquakes in various places and famines and pestilences, and there will be fearful sights and great signs from the heavens, right? And if you go down to verse 25, he also says, and there will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars, and on the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. So you can see why these can be looked at as signs of the end times. And a lot of these events happen often, but maybe that we have cell phones now and cameras everywhere, we're able to record, and it seems like they're more frequent. But you can't deny that there is a lot of strange things that occur around these events. So we're going to go check out the first video. So I'm a little late on this one. This is the video where the meteorite hits next to a volcano. But the strange thing is not the meteorite. The strangest part is what happens after the meteorite hits. Let's check it out. See that? What is that? Let's watch it one more time. Yeah, this is a hard one to explain. It's already strange enough that this meteor is bright, glowing green, and then we get this object just flying, looks like it's flying right where the meteor landed, right? And I've heard people say that it's a satellite that's in orbit behind it, and it's just a coincidence that where the meteor hit right after, we're seeing a satellite that's in orbit, which, I mean, it could be true, right? We have a lot of satellites, but man, I mean, that's a big coincidence if it is. I was watching Tim Pool, and he actually used AI to see what are the statistics of this happening. So let's check that out.
And here we go, baby. There it is. Something shooting through the sky, seemingly crashing down to Earth. So let's go back. There it is. It's got a tail. This is interesting. There is a strange green ball of light illuminating the sky. I'm actually offended by this response. Take a look at this. So you've got this viral video. Everyone's talking about it. However, Harvard University astrophysicist Avi Loeb told News Nation on Saturday the object seen after the meteor impact was unrelated and is likely a satellite passing orbit. Okay, maybe. First, okay, you mean to tell me a volcanic eruption and a meteor striking at the exact same time? Let's do this. I'm going to go to my good old friend Grok, and I'm going to ask it a question. What are the odds that a meteor strikes near an erupting volcano? What?
Look at how bright that light is coming off that meteor. I don't know. Is that normal? Is that usually what they do? I don't know. I don't know anything about meteors. But.
Odds. Hey, sometimes people win the lottery, right? It's probably not as crazy as you think. The probability of a meteor strike near a volcanic eruption, extremely low, on the order of 1 in millions to billions, depending on how you define near. It's a fun cosmic coincidence scenario, but the numbers show it's vanishingly rare. So let's do this. What are the odds of a volcanic eruption, a meteor strikes near it, then a satellite floats above it? The satellite floating above it, actually, there are a lot of satellites, so that's probably not that big a deal. But when you combine all of these things, oh boy, go buy yourselves a lottery ticket. This is exceedingly rare. The combined odds of this specific sequence, an erupting volcano followed by a meteor strike and a satellite directly overhead at that moment, are astronomically low, on the order of 1 in trillions to quadrillions for a noticeable event at a specific time and place. It's essentially a cosmic lottery win. This is what I'm talking about. This meteor strike right near the volcano in frame, followed by a satellite? Okay, well, I got to be honest. What are the odds it's aliens? Astronomically worse? So first, let's catch this again. They're filming, and you get this meteor strike. Insane. It's an amazing view. But wait, if you only wait a little bit longer, something else happens. Check this out. After the strike from the meteor, only within a few seconds, a strange object appears from behind the volcano and floats upward. Check this out. There it is. And you'll also notice it appears to have a tail of some sort. And so this Harvard guy is like, that's just a satellite.
I don't know. That's a weird one. Let me know what you guys think. Get down in the comments. Leave me a comment. I want to hear what you think. Are you buying it that it's a satellite that just, it's in the background at the same time this meteor hits next to an erupting volcano? I'm not buying it, but I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. But let's check out the next video. So this he's talking about the rainbow clouds everybody's seeing. And, I saw this video probably a couple weeks ago, and I've been seeing them here and there. So I don't know if you've seen any of this, but it's pretty interesting also. Let's check it out.
These rainbow clouds have recently gone viral, and while some are claiming that it's just natural, others are starting to connect the dots and see behind the veil. I'm here to tell you that there might just be something deeper behind these clouds, and the end times prophetic connection written in scripture thousands of years ago might just leave you speechless. Stick around until the end of this episode. Like many others, when I originally saw this, I dismissed it as AI. However, the more research
That's what I thought it was. When you look at it, it looks too perfect. I've never seen anything like this in person, right? And after this happened, I looked it up, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing that occurs. I've never seen pictures of it. I've never seen videos of it. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this.
I saw that these clouds that were spotted over Jonggol, Indonesia, and also these types of clouds have been spotted all over the world recently as well. Now, many will dismiss this and just explain the science behind it. Here's the thing though, just like a car mechanic can look at a car and explain how it functions, it doesn't dismiss the creator behind the car. That's why the Bible says in Psalms 19, the heavens declare the glory of God.
Amen.
But what if these clouds that were spotted were not just evidence of the very fingerprint of God, of the very nature of our creator, but what if they actually are spelling out end times prophecy? Ezekiel 1:28, his encounter in the heavenlies. As the appearance of the rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the appearance of the surrounding radiance. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory and brilliance of the Lord. When I saw it, I fell face downward, and I heard a voice from the one speaking. Revelation 4:1. Then as I looked, I saw a door standing open in heaven, and the same voice I had heard before spoke to me like a trumpet blast. The voice said, "Come up here, and I will show you what must happen after this." Before I read to you this scripture in Joel chapter 2, you've got to know that these clouds indicate convective clouds that are growing and that there is a possibility that rain will start to fall soon. In Joel chapter 2, it was prophesied, "Rejoice in the Lord your God, for the rain he sends demonstrates his faithfulness. Once more the autumn rains will come, as well as the rains of spring. The threshing floors will be piled again high with grain. The presses will overflow with new wine and olive oil." I'm here to tell you, before the new rain falls, before the culmination of all these end times prophecies comes to pass, it's very important that your lamp is filled with oil, that you are ready for what's about to happen. First,
And that's the most important thing, right? You know, all this stuff, it's cool to look into. Obviously these clouds are amazing. The meteor hitting the volcano, it's interesting, but the main thing is, are you ready? Are we ready for the coming of Christ, right? Are we right with God? You know, are we saved? You know, where's your salvation at, right? And that's the main thing that we should be focused on.
Thessalonians 4:16, "For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a commanding shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God. Then we will be with the Lord forever." Now listen, I'm not the end times expert. I'm not exactly going to tell you what date the rapture is going to happen or all of these things are going to occur. I'm not even going to claim that I know all about the rapture. And I do not believe believers should get divided and argumentative about these topics. Here is the truth that we should all unite around. Jesus Christ is coming back soon.
Boom. That's it. That's the one thing that we should all agree on. All right, we're going to go to this next one. This is NBC News. Sonic booms heard around the U.S. Let's check it out.
Fireballs lighting up the sky. Whoa! Sonic booms rattling homes. Animals sent scurrying. And one meteorite crashing through a roof.
Boom! Boom.
The latest came over the weekend. A 5-foot meteor exploding above Massachusetts, with a boom heard across the region.
Here in New England, that's pretty insane.
Mike Hankey of the American Meteor Society has been tracking it all.
When we observe daytime fireballs, they're kind of special, okay? They get people excited. They often have the booms. They have to outshine the sun.
In Ohio, a meteor blazed across the sky in March and a sonic boom followed. That month in Houston, reports poured in of a bright fireball and a loud blast. Later, a homeowner found a meteorite had punched into her house.
That's where it came in at.
Extremely rare, as most meteors burn up in the atmosphere. Along the Jersey Shore in April,
a lot of people have been reporting seeing something streak across the sky.
A daytime meteor drawing hundreds of reports. Loud booms follow. In the Pacific Northwest, a vivid green fireball streaking overhead in late April. And in South Carolina, just last week, a mysterious boom shaking the state and confusing residents. The USGS ruled out earthquakes, and experts say a large meteor is a leading theory.
Is this something that people should have on their minds all the time?
Not at all. Most of them are associated with objects that completely burn up in the atmosphere.
But is there an uptick in these events?
There was a big uptick, a noticeable uptick. It came on quickly and it turned off quickly.
Hankey saying March alone had
Like
more than
one
double
thing
the
after
average
another.
meteor reports, but that spike ended this spring. The latest flurry we've seen, he says, is anomalous. As we watch these jaw-dropping videos, scientists say they are glued to the data.
All right, Stephen Romo joins us. So
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing after another. I mean, has this happened before? Yeah, it happens all the time, right? And we have more evidence of it now because we have cameras, cell phones, like I said, people out there catching these. But I mean, even like he said, there was an uptick. Now it's down. So this recent uptick, they say it's an anomaly. So, I mean, they're admitting that there was a slight increase this year, but, you know, it's kind of strange. You know, if it was just one thing, you know, you're kind of like, okay, you know, it happens often. You know, we're seeing a lot of meteors now. So what? But then you have the volcano, you know, thing happening. You have the rainbow clouds thing happening. And then you got the UFO, UAP, the alien thing happening, which we're going to check out what the latest on that is. But, you know, it's just kind of odd with all these things going on, government releasing information that's been classified supposedly. And so, yeah, it's just kind of strange, right? Let's check out what Mr. Hannity has to say.
Now, as the mystery surrounding the missing scientists is growing, questions are mounting about the alleged existence of UFOs, or UAPs as they're better known, as the Trump administration following through on their promise to release more files and film. Here with more. He's been at the tip of the spear demanding release. Congressman Tim Burchett is with us. And the Age of Disclosure director, filmmaker, Dan Farrar. I urge everybody to please watch that video. You got to I'll tell you what, it's very convincing to me. Congressman, start with you. You have been asking, fighting, demanding the release of these files. The more I see, the more intrigued I am and the more I believe it's all real.
Well, you should be, Sean. I've been in Congress for 8 years. I've been asking for it. You know, people have been asking for it since the Truman regime, and continued on through. And Trump's been the first president, honestly, that's taken it serious and kept his word. He kept his word to me. He said he was going to bring it up and get it out. We all should have transparency. It's not about little green men or flying saucers, dadgummit. It's about what are we spending tens of millions of dollars on, and why do they keep telling us they don't exist when we have experts in the field. Dan's movie has people, look.
Wasn't this video in the background debunked? I thought this video was debunked as was supposed to be, I don't know, what was it, a weather balloon, a drone? It was some type of footage. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Why would they be playing that on Fox News, right?
They gain nothing from this. All they risk is their reputations. These are well-renowned scientists and people in the field that have seen things, that have researched this, and Washington just basically turns a blind eye to it.
You know, Dan, let me go to you, and I urge everyone to watch the film that you did, Age of Disclosure. It's very well done, very credible people. You see now more and more of these disclosures every single day, more and more information, more and more videos being released. What are you seeing when you look at all of this?
Thank you. Yeah, look, the interview subjects in my documentary revealed there's been an 80-year cover-up of the existence of non-human intelligent life and technology of non-human origin. And what's happening right now behind the scenes is the White House is facing that reality and trying to undo the cover-up. The president issued this presidential directive in February, instructing federal agencies to declassify evidence of non-human intelligent life and UAP, and very few of them have acted in line with that directive. They're putting their heads in the sand. They're avoiding disclosure. They're fighting disclosure.
I mean, I don't know. I can't take the news serious anymore. Like, there's obviously something going on. There's something coming down the line. There's some type of disclosure that they want to release, or they're rolling out slowly, little by little. It seems like they're grooming us to be more comfortable with these ideas, ideas of life outside of humanity, right? Life outside of this earth. And we do know, as a Christian, we do believe that there are other beings besides humans, right? It's not a shocker to us. You know, as a Christian, we know that there's heavenly beings. You know, we are not the only beings that God has created. And whether you want to call that aliens or whatever name you want to give it, we know we're not alone, right? We know we're not alone. We know there's a whole spirit realm out there. There's stuff that we can't see with our own eyes. And I mean, the Bible has recorded that these beings do come into our existence, right? They do make themselves seen to humans. Is that what's going on right now? I don't know. But I'm not going to believe for once that life evolved on another planet, or there's this alien race that exists outside of God. We know that's not true, right? Nothing exists outside of God. So, you know, I know it could be confusing for a lot of people who aren't Christians, or even a lot of Christians who never really dove into, you know, unclean spirits, the demons, the Nephilim, you know, things like that. You know, but I mean, how else do you explain it, right? You know, there's a lot of false information out there. There's a lot of false teachings out there. But if you're not in your word, and you're not using your word, using the word that God has given us to explain everything, then you can easily be deceived. And like I said, you know, that's exactly what Jesus told us, right? Do not be deceived. You know, all these things are going to happen, is what he said. But he made sure to let us know that there was a deception coming. Something was coming down the line towards the end, and they were going to deceive us, right? And we know it's the enemy. The enemy wants to deceive us. And, you know, you hear a lot of people say the biggest trick the enemy has, the biggest trick that the devil has, is to show people that he doesn't exist, right? If he can show people that he's not real, that's his biggest advantage, right? So if people can think, you know, there's this alien species out there, you know, do they mean well? Do they mean harm? Whatever. I mean, the the agenda of that depends on how they want to use it, right? Whether they're going to use the aliens for good or the aliens for bad. That depends on what their agenda is. But for us to think that the devil doesn't exist, right, and that there's other answers out there, you know, that's the deception. That's the deception right there. So, you know, it's interesting, all these things going on, everything happening. You know, should we be diving into this and digging in deep? No, I make a video about this every so often because it's what people are talking about. But I think it is important to know what's going on. It's important to keep up with politics to a certain extent, right? To be aware of things going on, right? Because a lot of us have kids. We need to make sure that our kids aren't deceived. So we need to be in the word. We need to see what's going on out there. And we need to interpret that according to what God says, right? And we need to have that stable foundation, which is God's word, right? To interpret what's going on in this world. So, and in that aspect, I do believe it is important. But we need to be really focusing on our salvation, right? And we need to ask ourselves, are we ready? If Jesus came tonight, would you be ready? Right? Do you have your bags packed? Have you prepared? If you knew he was coming the next morning, right? What would you do right now? Would you go home? Would you start packing? Would you start getting your life right? Would you start repenting? Would you start trying to do all the good you can do, right? There is a period where you have time, which is now. That time is now. But there's going to be a time where that grace runs out, because he comes. Once he comes, it's too late. You no longer have you no longer have the option of grace. You no longer have that option. You're stuck here, right? And the choices you made, they're going to have consequences to them. So we need to really ask ourselves, are we right with God? Have we repented? Have we given our life to God? Have we accepted Jesus as Lord? Ask yourself that. And if you haven't, then that's my prayer for you. I pray that you come to know Jesus as he describes himself, the way, the truth, and the life, and that you get saved. And I pray the same for your families also. So with that, let me know what you think about all these things going on. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the volcanoes, the sonic booms, the rainbow clouds, all this alien stuff. Are you paying attention to all of it, or are you just focused on Christ? You're not worried about nothing else, which I don't blame you. That's a good way to live right there. So let me know what you guys think. Pray for me. I'll be praying for y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm out.